Hey everyone, hey and welcome back to yet another episode of battlerapresume. We are here with a recap of a fucking giant, almost already legendary event, even though it happened like 24 hours ago or something, but it was just such an incredible set of battles and, you know, performances. We're talking about Premier Battles Apex, and, you know, I wasn't actually at the event. I picked up the pay-per-view early today. I think originally we were going to do something like straight after the event. It was going to be on at like 8 o'clock or something, and they're going to weave interviews in there. And, you know, Briggsy said this on one of the sort of live streams, something like this. But we had to wait. But, you know, the wait was definitely worth it. And it came out like sort of midday-ish today, Sunday the 8th of September. And I devoured it. But I'm joined by a guest today who was actually there. And just as a way of introducing this guest, I mean, this is someone that I've admired for quite a long time, really. And I didn't even realise it because I'd only kind of encountered him in in kind of snatches and stuff. But, you know, basically everyone knows that I'm a giant fan of Black Compass. It is, I have to say, you know, one of my you know, like,
I couldn't hold it in, I'm sorry.
Like, flat out one of my all-time favourite podcasts, not just battle rap podcasts. Posey, Polo, Tony, and Drizzy have an incredible product over there where they discuss, you know, primarily US battle rap. And, you know, I fucking love the guys. I think they're brilliant minds and really entertaining. And, you know, they often have callers in towards the end of the show, and you've got to keep in mind that these shows, they are streaming probably at like 9-10 p.m. Eastern time or whatever, so it's late over here, and they have all these call-ins, they have all these people from all over the country and stuff, and it's great, and, you know, the panoply of fans that listen and stuff. But occasionally there was a Scottish voice on the line that I heard, and it just stuck out because it was just so, like, I think there was a video went viral recently of an NFL player on an English accent, and it was one of those things. It was just kind of something you wouldn't expect to encounter. And it was my man Cameron here, and, you know, you gave so much great opinion and informed chat, and, you know.
Yeah, no, my man. Yo, what's good? You know, the problem there, I have to say this, that a lot of times at that time, I'm drunk. I'm calling up, and I've just been on a night out or something, and I'm like, oh, this is on, and then I'm kind of listening to half an hour, getting a grasp of it, and then I get added it by Tony Bro and says, "Oh, you coming on?" I said, "Yeah." And then I always end up arguing with someone, or they just say drunk Cam or something.
Yeah. You defended Apex brilliantly, the whole Twork scenario. Like, you were going at it, man. I loved it.
Yeah, but you know what? So for that situation there, at least, was that because America, at least with like URL and stuff, they do idolize that league. I'm being honest, like, it's a little bit of that, like, definitely. I think the word, right, the cool word is like caping. It's a little bit of cape in there, and one of the co-hosts on that show was trying to cape for Twork. And as much as like UK fans, and I had that today when I was here, that were like kind of not calling me out, but like, oh, you like UK battle, but you're not like a big fan. But it's like, as much of that, I'm at the other end and I'm debating. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm like a lone soldier, and not lone soldier, that sounds really corny, but fucking Braveheart type bullshit going on. But yeah, I'm normally like talking at the other end, so I'm like, I hear it all, and then I kind of not spread the word, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So with that situation there was that Twork was kind of idolized with the whole situation that, oh, Shorty Horror the card wasn't legit without Shorty Horror, but it's like, well, Shorty Horror's the show, a whole bunch of things. But it was good, though. It was good, and I did sit him down, which is always fun. But no one's ever sat me down in that show yet.
Yeah. No, people need to check out that clip, because that clip really stood out, actually. It was the bank holiday weekend when it dropped, and I was away, and I was, like, walking, like, on this country lane. I was listening to it. I was like, fucking yes, Cam. I was like, you know, you were laying it down. So I'll put a link down below. And it was there that I learned that you were going to this event, and obviously I wasn't going to be able to make the event myself and watch pay-per-view, but you were actually there. But am I right in thinking that you were there for Rock and Twork, right, more than anything?
I was, you know, I was there for the URL card. For it, I was there. I got like the tickets in like February. So it was, I just heard, I think Twork was there, and I heard that Shotty had Twork. That was like through whispers. But I just kind of went, it's early enough. If I pay for it way back then, and then as I'm laying up and just see what the card is. But yeah, I was originally there for all the other battles. But the event was okay. Like, it was a good event for what it was. It was good fun. I should say that.
Yeah.
The event was good fun.
So let's talk about the event then. I mean, you know, you're based around Dundee, so that must have been a fucking long journey to get down to Manchester.
Oh, it was a bastard.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a bastard.
It always is, isn't it?
Like, Yeah, it's literally going from a little small town just outside Dundee, plus Dundee, not a big deal, but then it's the fucking train journeys. Oh man, a little bit of me wants to kind of punch on Manny a little bit. That although Manny is a great city, right?
Of course,
it's like the Brooklyn of the UK.
Okay.
Like if you talk to anyone from Manny, they'll tell you they're from Manny. Like, why are you telling me I'm in Manny? Stop telling me that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm from Manny. Like, I get it. You're from here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in here with you. Just you don't have to be so extra about it. But yeah, it's definitely the Brooklyn of the UK, and take it as you will, compliment or not. Just everyone's going to tell you they're from Manny.
And the venue itself, then, is it the Academy 2? It was.
Yeah, it was the Academy 2. So what was kind of nifty about that little venue? I never been to a venue that had a pool table and a bar and that was like outside of it, like part of it. It was actually pretty nifty, like to go there and see all this. Now I tell you this, and I'm gonna say this. I know this guy gets like punched on a lot. I'm gonna give a shout out to Yana because he's a nice guy. He is a nice guy. But we was in the queue, right, waiting to get there. And you know, a lot of people nowadays, they have like the little scan of like the paper instead of actually getting a handheld ticket.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like stop. Yaneth, like I just sort of assumed he was Premier staff, right? He shouts, "If anyone's got a scan, a piece of paper, come join this queue over here." So about 50% of the queue, a lot of them were just a couple of like steps away from the entry. Step over to this queue. Then 5 minutes later, Jan's like, my bad, guys. You have to go to the back of the queue again. Like we got all the way back there. We were like 10 meters away from the venue, and then we have to walk all the way around. Oh, could not believe it. But
he was in staff gear, wasn't he? I saw him on the pay-per-view. He had like the t-shirt and shit. Or no?
Yeah, well, he was probably helping, at least.
Like a full kit wanker sort of deal. Like.
But like, shout out to him. I gotta give him that he was alright with me. Like, but just saw them start the event. I just think, you just wasted my fucking time.
And the venue itself, once you were inside, you know, it seemed to be quite full from the footage.
You know what? It was, and okay, I'm going to sound petty and doing comparisons. So like, I've been at Summer Madness recently, was at World Dom, and I was at this. I will say this, that the event was more full than World Dom was. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, like there wasn't lunch space. Like I wouldn't have been able to like dance in the middle.
Yeah, it was very pocketed. Yeah,
it was relatively full, but it got full throughout the day, obviously. But I think the more people that came in later on in the event, the more of the bullshit that happened and the disruptions and things. But it was pretty packed for what it was, considering all the drops, and I think there was a bit of camaraderie like after this all happened. But also, I missed the chant, which I'm kind of happy I was, but there was a bit of a fuck Twork type chant that was going on, and I don't know if I co-signed that. Like, it was a bit of the UK versus US vibe, which I get that for like All-Star games, but definitely there was a fuck Twork chant at the start of the event, which, take it as it is. I mean, I walked in just at the end of it.
Was there any people like in merch themselves? Because early on, you know, the kits were popular.
You know what? I don't know if they were selling that much merch. There was people that were wearing hats and things. But what I was like, shout out to Terminal, because I was kind of hanging about with like some of the Irish people and that while I was there. Shout out to them. And Dean's Terminal comes up. He walks up to us, and I could see he's a little bit pissed because they stopped selling Celt stuff. Like, there was no stuff for Celts on that whole. He's like, damn it, and he was going. He was like, he said to me, he's like, well, I hope it's because we're sold out and we're so popular, but I doubt it. Yeah, he was
Briggs has always said that. He's like, oh yeah, when we're signing someone, we're thinking about like how much merch are they going to sell. I'm like, does anybody sell any? Like, I can't imagine. It's like when fucking Madrid signed Beckham, you know.
You know what? It sounds bad. I actually have a friend of mine that to this day wears the Madrid Beckham top.
Right.
Like with Lecoq Sportif trackies. Like just a super chaff, but it's funny as fuck just seeing him. like
Now,
walking around with this old ass top.
Now I've seen like just from the from the main cameraman was Bagnall, right? I've just seen from his angle.
Yeah, the main man. He was the main man on the camera.
Who surprisingly, I mean, I don't know if you would have detected this in the building, very quiet behind cam. No giggles, that have been commented quite a bit.
Yeah, like I could, but you know what though? I think there wasn't.
They weren't
let me
giggle
think about this.
The battles, or
there wasn't too much to go crazy over.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? That it wasn't like a Bagnall going when Sol was dealing with Raptor in that first round. There's not entirely that much, but I guess he's probably listened up because I know it's been talked about before about Bagnall being a bit loud and like the PB battles and stuff. So I guess he's just taking note of it and just tried to keep it quiet, which is fine for him. It looks like he was having a great time. Yeah.
Crawford saying he laughed at one battle. I think it was the Real Deal Clash. And I should say we are on the live chat as well. Shout out to everyone listening. And Naz saying the venue was sick. I had a prayer room. I might be the first person to use a prayer room during a battle rap event. Crazy.
Oh wow! I see. I didn't notice that. I was probably drunk. But yeah, like a prayer room. Like oh well. But I mean, it's the first event I've ever been at that had a unisex toilet.
Okay.
Yeah, it was really weird. But then also having like one side was black, so it was really sketchy. Like, it was a really sketchy toilet. It's the little things. The little things. That's what you've got me here for.
Where were you based in the crowd? Did you move around per battle, or?
Oh, I moved around everywhere.
Sure.
So, like, let's say, for example, when we get to, like, battle by battle, like, the Bobby and Yuna, and I'm fucking front row pretty much on that. Like, and I just happened to be there. I went, I'll just walk up front. And then a few of them are farther back, but I was in the pit for a while, for sure.
And the first battle was Chilla Major.
Yes, the first battle was Chilla Major. Now, Chilla and Major, I think a lot of people were shocked at how good Major could not control the crowd, but how good he was next to Chilla. Like, Chilla just kind of pulled the vet moves, and he was just a bit more controlled. Chilla won. There's a one rounder. Chilla won, but it was Major did really well. Like, this isn't stock drop on him. And to be honest, when it comes to like him and the Ellis Deans and stuff, like to get them up a level and some practice, they probably should just have like one mandatory, like international
just a vet beats you. Like, doesn't body you, but it shows you what's up.
Yeah. It was like an edge. It was an edge. But I mean,
I agree.
I mean, Chilla just knew what he was doing, and I want to say like I think it was more the angle. Like the thing, what edge Chilla, without really leaking too much. Like Chilla pretty much went like, do you know what about you? What do you know about Mage concerns?
Right.
Like obviously,
Real Deal.
But then pointed out to his whole team about what they went through, and it worked the charm. And I think at that moment there, I was like, okay, if Major has an angle like that, he can bring it back. But he was just trying to punch one, which is cool. Like a lot of times that works, but when something like that hits, then you gotta do a little bit more to beat that.
Chilla was dope here. Yeah, I like that sequence as well. Talking about like Awood's going to miss church on Sunday.
Yeah, that lightened the mood as well. Actually,
ended it in a really kind of interesting path there. Yeah, I like Chilla. I do think Chilla did win this. The shot impression early on. Kind of repeated the word over season like 5 or 6 times. I don't think I caught everything there. It's that sort of stuff. Some basketball lines, some dry sections. Chilla mentioning that this should have been Ellis Dean's plate, which is interesting thought process.
Yeah. You know what? And that's the thing. Low key, I probably would have agreed with that as well.
Sure.
Now, if we're winning, because it wasn't not that if you won the tournament or something, you won like an international. Like, it wasn't that.
So I think you're right. Yeah.
Maybe last year. Maybe I'm making that up, but I'm sure that was a thing. Like last year, you won that and you got something.
Yeah.
Like after the tournament.
Yeah, a lot of people talking Mr. Wavy Ellis Dean, but that didn't really come to fruition.
Oh yeah. That was a narrative that kind of like, I suppose. I don't know if it was me that was really spinning it. I at least kept on putting on like posts and little things like that. That Mr. Wavy. Like, I don't want to say I did that. That was probably Ellis Dean and the Take Note gang and all that. But definitely ride with that wave. That would have been a good one. But
and this is because it's a one rounder on such short notice. It's not really a narrative change or anything like that. It's just an impressive showing from both.
The stock was up though.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. And I think the thing with Major is people were listening. Like, you really are, because it's such quality and such original material He just gets his attentiveness, and I will say that about the crowd. There's a lot of downsides that we'll get to, but they were battle rap fans clearly, and they were attuned to the sort of delicacies, and you've got to be quiet and got to think on the bars a bit.
Yeah.
And Major I thought was excellent. Really kind of just a lot of those punches that are kind of like, okay, Jonestown Massacre, Oblivion, Elder Scrolls, that sort of stuff. Casey Jones gets mentioned as well. With a lot of just sort of, I don't know, not as gut rocking as some of Chilla stuff.
Yeah, and you know what though? At least like it's with Major and Chilla. I think at this point with Major, I kind of want to, every battle I do want to ask this, at least on the UK side, like, what do we do with them next? And it got me thinking. I was on the way home on the train and that, 'cause I had a lot of time in the train and that.
Yeah.
What do we do next with Major? Like, he's just had a really good showing with Chilla. Like, does he deserve like a top tier? I say a UK quote unquote top tier. Does he deserve that, or should he be like one more little shot beforehand? Like, what do we do with him?
Maybe the first Academy guy to go for the title.
Oh,
like, maybe if the dust settles.
Well, that's the thing. Like with the title, from what I'm aware of, that's not that it's gone, but the team situation's gone.
Seems to be.
Like,
yeah.
Like maybe for next year that would be a good opportunity for him. Like getting the first shot there, because he deserves like something after that. But I wouldn't even mind. You know what? I'm just gonna say this now. Even a Major versus Archaic.
Holy
like,
shit!
I'm only saying that's an out there battle, but it's at this point we're trying to get the old school, new school type deal, and I think that would really mesh well. I think.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Yeah, Crawford saying Major versus the Saurus.
You know, see, Major versus Saurus. Now that I would understand that, like giving Major another year. I think with Major right now, it'd be a bit soon for him, because Thesaurus does a lot more, especially in 3 rounds. There's a lot more that I think Major would have to learn to then take that on. And there's a whole like history of Thesaurus that you can go backtrack on everything, and I don't think going punch for punch is the way of it just now. But I mean, here, if it happens, I wouldn't be mad at it.
I liked how Major quotes one of my favourite Chilla battles, the Daylight battle, with the Groundhog Day. Like, you can't really use that as a verb.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though. What was it? Shout out my bro Titan. Shout out him. He said to me that was used. See, Major did that.
Right.
Versus Chilla.
Did he do the same bar?
Like, it was.
So he sort of clown that thing, yeah.
Yeah, the whole Groundhog thing. That I think it might have been at the end. Maybe it was battles a long time ago, but like he was quick to be like, I know where that's from. That's like
someone like Chilla, you can do that quite easily. Like,
yeah. You can, like, I haven't noticed, but like he's switched on. Like, he is really switched on when it comes to like battle rap, and it's really impressive. I'm being honest there, without talking too bigly of him, because he's the fucking man to me. But yeah, he was switched on. He was like, right, I know exactly where that's. Yeah.
I like this battle.
Like,
really enjoyed this battle. Great opening battle, I think, for an event.
Oh yeah, to set the tone, it was really good, and it helped for the next battle as well. Like, it really helped.
The next battle was
to build up.
Raptor Red Flag, is that right?
Yeah, Raptor and Red Flag. Now, I always have this thing, like, I have a problem. See, when the battle of the night is like the first 2 battles, then the event isn't that good.
Right. Okay.
The only reason, because a lot of times it's not that it's like the filler, it's that as the battles are progressing, they should almost be like the gradual like build up to the main thing. But if your event is your best battles at the start, then you get people that come in at 4 p.m., 5 p.m. and all of this, then they've missed most of the card. And then for them missing most of the card and then watching all the battles that maybe aren't as good, then that's when the vibe changes, and it's like, oh, I missed the great battles and now I'm here for the later ones.
Yeah.
So I would say, though, really, really, really fucking good battle between Raptor and Red Flag.
Yeah.
And I lost a bet. Because, well, being from Scotland, spoiler alert, I'm ginger too.
Sure.
And and I was Red Beard Gang all day. I was like, yeah, to my pal, saying 3-0, red flag, yeah, absolutely. And as soon as the battle happened, I lost because it was pretty clear on Raptor's end. I would say that like the first and the second round, like I think especially
second, undeniably so.
Yeah, that second round's unbelievable. That's probably round of the night when I really think about it.
I would say so. Yeah, I would say so. Some like vintage Tony whole... D style attacking there that he's pointing out into, and he Raptor is a masterclass how to control your energy in an engaging way and your kind of visceral anger. It's spill over. We'll get to Bobby. It's spill over in Bobby, and it just got cringy real fast.
Yeah, you know what? I will say that the ginger jokes in the third, like you probably hear on the pay-per-view.
Bit of a fill around I thought.
I was booing it.
Yeah.
Like, I ain't shit. Like, I mean, yeah, Raptor did really well, but I'm ginger. I'm like, hey.
It was nice to see him like hug Briggsy and shit, but
yeah,
you know,
yeah, you hug, but that was a sympathy hug. Yeah, that's all that was. That's what I said. I kept on telling people I had AIDS like after it, and just because apparently I do. Yeah, but you know what? I gotta say for Red Flag, that's Red Flag's first main stage battle.
I was gonna say, yeah, he's never played to a crowd of that size, right?
Yeah, and nor on a stage.
Yeah,
like that's great. Like an actual stage, and for what was going on, because I think that battle, we'll talk about the third round. With the third round, obviously Raptor had the ginger stuff,
sure,
and then Red Flag's trying to go right. He's trying to bam, he's trying to go. And then there's this girl that's over there. I don't know what she was like, not cussing Red Flag out, but she was like overreacting slightly. And then like Red Flag tried to have a little kind of like panda, like freestyle saying about, oh, yeah, that's just one of my fans. And all of a sudden she's like, Raptor. And then this all turned into a whole thing where like a bit to the round, Red Flag's like freestyling at her. Mm-hmm. And this is a man that's never really freestyled like that at whole bunch of people. I think Real Deal called him like a Swiss Army knife. Like he just a whole different bag that we hadn't seen that he did on the stage. Really impressive to see, but that was just drunk people.
It was, but Red Flag was sensational here. Like it was so exciting because of all the other people in Team USA. He was the only one actually debuting, over here. We'd never seen him before on the stage. So yeah, that's exciting in of itself. And just so many great fucking lines from this guy. And the research game, the British comedy shows, knock out this NC Grinder, his people just do nothing. Love Island got referenced as well. And he dug into some of our history that, people always react to. And Madflex does kind of a similar thing as well, going into your Don't Flop past and airing it out. And he talks to the soul flip about hitting a bitch and like a great section.
Oh yeah, and, that was pretty funny. Like he just having the fact that he admitted it, like that's something that no one's really talked about, but we all talked about, like for years, that he admitted it in a freestyle and said he'd do it again. It's always kind of been in our minds, but no one's actually confronted it like he did, and it was really was special.
Yeah, absolutely. He was flipping like crazy, Red Flag as well, like.
Flipping like crazy. That sounds like such an English phrase. He was flipping mad, bruv. He was flipping crazy.
And he just like, because we're used to seeing him in these tight, low ceilinged eye battle type rooms. So it can be sink and swim up there. And I think he just fucking rose to the occasion. And
absolutely,
really enjoyed this one.
Like really, really proud of him. And that's as well. He was saying as well that he arrived there at like. He arrived like early in the morning, like the night before, but he was leaving at 10 p.m. that night.
Right. Fuck.
That's why his battle is one of the first ones, because he was going on that same day, like back on the flight.
Yeah. Back
to New York.
Next up was Lazy versus LSD, right?
Yeah. Yes. But before we get onto that, now after the two battles, everyone's kind of like buzzing in the venue, right? So we'll go back down. Now. I had a little, not too much of a confrontation. I had a little, like, back and forth with the villain. Like, the villain,
okay.
Yeah, villain is he's wavy. Like he's wavy at this event, right? Sure. And he's cool. Like he's a cool guy, right? And so at that time, just the now, like villain versus Briz Rothstein just got announced. So I'm just an instigator. So I just walked up and said, "Hey, are you ready for Briz Rothstein?" Like, obviously, I was like, "Well, I've not got anything written down, but when I do," he started telling me that he was going to body Briz Rothstein. I've got my hands in my head, like, what?
Yeah.
Like, villain bodying Briz Rothstein. And he's like, not that he's getting mad at me, but because, what was it he said? He said to me that he was giving Briz Rothstein the shot.
Jeez.
And I'm like, what? He's about to battle Mook tonight. What? Like, but he was talking spicy, and I was hyped. I was hyped how he was talking, but he was probably just fucked.
Crazy.
But he was really going to talk to Briz Rothstein apparently. But we'll see how that happens.
Well, I mean, if Briz comes over here, he'll be in his post-Mook debacle bag, like.
Yeah, we'll get to that debacle, because I stayed up to watch that.
Right.
I stayed up at like 2:10 in the morning. I stayed up to watch that, but never mind. We'll get back to that.
Okay. So, Lazy versus LS Dean. This is a battle that I was really excited for. It sort of came in the avalanche of cancellations. You know, this got arranged. I've been looking forward to this battle for a long time. Lazy's never battled on Premier Battles before. It's his debut on behalf of LS Dean, obviously, you know, known for many reasons. Like, what did you think about this battle?
So with this battle here, like, I know they're kind of been battling like for a similar amount of time, haven't they? Like, really
roundabout, like, Dean a bit longer, I'd say.
Like the King of the Ronald stuff at the start, and you could tell on the stage that Lazy Arse was like someone that has performed more. Do you know what I mean? Like, that is willing to tweak himself more, if that makes sense. That from what I've seen of Lazy Arse before, he really performed for this crowd. Yeah. And really got everyone going. I was really impressed with him. And LS Dean, he'll do great. But I'm being honest, I think I had Lazy Arse winning that.
Yeah, I have him winning too, yeah.
Yeah, like, you know, I think it might have been the second and third, maybe? And then I think maybe give the first to LS Dean. That was a battle that it's the most... The other battles and stuff, you can kind of call it, and there's a common consensus with it all. Yeah. But I think that battle there is chop and choosy. Like, at least live, it was chop and choosy. I watched a bit of it on the code after, but like, yeah, it was a very good battle for what it was, considering that they were. Again, Ellis Dean's had a stage, but the Academy, that's a different thing.
Well, that's what Lazy gets into, and I think that's what wins in the clash for me ultimately. I mean, you know, we're speaking about Mr. Wavy, now we have Mr. Lazy to get into, and Lazy just twists off with this confidence. The, you know, body offshore like a tax haven was dope, and his projection was really strong. I mean, we have the archetypal, you know, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, Dr. Manhattan, Cowboy Bebop sort of idea. But what I really enjoyed from Lazy, like you said, in the second, is that he just actually goes at Dean and attacks him on a lot of fronts. You know, his music, the post SoundCloud emo rapper nature, the triathlon bar. I thought it was just a really easy synthesis between quite complex, ornate stuff that connected with the crowd. You know, him going on in the Academy and you've not proven yourself, you know, where have you really came from? What does that really mean? Was pretty succinct and effective.
Like, that hit hard. Like, you could see in the crowd, at least people are like nodding. Like, in a crowd, although everyone's going to react, and if it sounds good, they'll react. But when you're getting people in the crowd agreeing, and one or two people yell "facts" and like that thing, that's when the game changes. When they're actually going, that makes sense. That's the
that's the Gemini. After my battles, they look at you as someone else. Like,
absolutely.
Dean didn't seem very motivated. I don't know.
You know what? I think he was motivated, but he's. Do we think that he's still trying to figure himself out? Like, his writing is great, and maybe it's a performance. It's so hard to say because what he was saying was really good, but the struggling in translating, and like when he did try and translate, like from what I'm aware of, maybe I've got this wrong. Like, he did try and translate it all with Matter, but then it was the whole accent problem and all that type thing was going on as he was really trying to perform the bars, and it seemed that he was like trying to stay sounding not as English, but as himself as he can, but then reserving back on the performance that Lazy Arse is given, to the crowd. That I'm sure if Ellis-Dean performed a little bit more for the crowd, and if that American accent came, then it came. But if he did that, he'd probably connect with the crowd a little bit more, because I think Ellis-Dean, Lazy Arse probably just got a bit more reaction every round.
Yeah, because there's certain things that Ellis-Dean shoehorns in that kind of baffle me, like the 2010 round of "I fuck your bitch" comes in, so get loads of those bars in the second, more positions than James Milner, and
that hit the crowd.
That was huge. That was huge. Yeah.
That definitely hit the crowd.
But Ellis-Dean does do that sort of twerk bouncing that Lazy talks about in the third round.
Mm-hmm. I'm probably biased, but I like that.
Yeah, I mean, no.
That bounce is powerful. Like with the right people that use it, that bounce is powerful, and it did it helped him hype himself up. Mm-hmm. But that's the thing. Ellis-Dean as a person, like from what I know of him, like he does follow battle rap like a lot. Oh, yeah. Like he's got a good knowledge of it, and he does look at battlers and goes, okay, like I see what this guy's doing here. I could probably tweak what I do, and he's trying to adjust accordingly, which is what a lot of battlers should be doing. Let's try to find the perfect mix, and Lazy Arse was beating him. I'll say that, but I can't take anything away from Ellis-Dean though. But
no.
I think it was like just after the battle. I think he was a bit miffed, or maybe it was before the battle. But I tried to get a handshake from him, and it just turned into like me grasping a pound and all this. You know that really awkward moment where you just don't get the handshake right. I think I just tapped him in the shoulder and went, "Good luck." Nah, good for him. Like,
yeah,
good,
no.
Good, again,
obviously a big fan of this guy, but yeah, I just think Net Lazy kind of, he's just a bit more impactful. The sort of disparity between them, the sort of scathing way that he does that, you sprinting in boots that are too big for you or something like that, and the manuscript into manuscript fragments or something like that. Yeah. Dean does a lot of your posh stuff in the second. If I remember correctly, one of the punches is like, you're posh. Like that's kind of the punch.
Yeah. And what Lazy Arse predicted it as well.
Yeah.
And it kind of nullified it. Maybe that's something that Ellis-Dean should try and do. Not say to predict the bar, but maybe keep something in the pocket, like more of think, instead of improving himself, try and improve his analysis of his opponent. Now, I tell you, before we get back to this battle, I've just remembered, what are we doing? Just to go back to the Raptor and Red Flag real quick. What are we doing with Raptor?
Is he out of jail, you're saying, figuratively?
Yeah.
Do we forgive him for Gojo? Is that just all done now?
See, that's what I was thinking.
That
do we forgive him? Like, yeah, absolutely. Like, maybe for him, because I know he's been wanting the talks battle. And like I've seen all that back and forth. And I think in the right circumstances that'd be a good battle. But I would. Well, All-Star versus who though?
No, I mean maybe Raptor versus Talks, like a lower down card.
You know what?
No?
Raptor and Talks on there. I
needs to be on like a regional.
I would like to see that in a small room.
Yeah.
And just kind of like none of the nonsense that goes around in the crowd. Just them, Briggsy, Shorty, and a few others in a room.
Martin Richards.
Like a little one-off deal, like maybe like a volume. I don't know. Again, sure. I'm biased. But I would like that there, personally. But
okay.
I think I was speaking to some people and saying that he does deserve an all-star spot. But I think if he does, the Koji shit is still bad. It is. It's bad. Maybe Raptor versus Major Concerns.
Ooh, fuck. I'd love that.
Because that's that kind of... Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's that level up that I think Major deserves. Yeah, and that's the opportunity that I think Raptor should still give to then bring him back to where he is. Like, okay, one performance is great, but are you going to keep that going?
Crawford saying in the comments, apparently Raptor was on stage with Chilla saying that they're battling in December. Damn.
Oh, did I hear what he said? Yeah, if they are, good for him.
I can see that happening. I think
there was a little call out or something, but like, yeah, like I'd be okay with it, but I would hope that Chilla would win that because Chilla has a lot more in the arsenal than what Raptor does have.
You think?
Yeah, because you know what, Raptor, Raptor is all. He's not all flow, but he's like he has his content and he has his rhythm, and I think that's something that I heard on like the Ruin Your Day watch about Raptor. That is like the. And when he's doing that effectively, like he's doing in the second round versus Red Flag, and about the other side of the courtroom, and go that works really well. But Chilla will just stop for a second, let something marinate, and then go again. It's like when the comedian stops to let the crowd react, so it gives you the opportunity. Raptor won't give you that much of an opportunity until he can't say nothing. Like, we have to shout at him to stop before we can react to the bars. But Chilla has more of a concept of structure in that way. But Raptor is a quote rapper anyway. He should be able to improve on it, and that third round should help him out. But yeah, on that sort of situation, I would say Chilla just being on bigger stages, being more consistent, having a pretty good, like, last 3 years have been pretty good for Chilla.
Yep.
And just from going from there up to this battle, it'd be good. But I hope Raptor knows what he's going in for.
So next up was Soul versus Madflex, right?
Before we get to that, I don't mean to hijack the structure.
No, these are great. No, I like these details.
Yeah, like I have to. Then let's ask the same question: what are we doing with LSD and Lazy Arse Jack? What are we doing with them?
Jeez.
Like, what's the next steps?
Honestly, what excites me are just, Lazy going against more renowned kind of pen heads. Like, I've always really wanted Lazy versus like Marlowe.
Okay.
Just some sort of outlandish parlor game, like.
Yeah.
Of battle rap.
You know what? That would be good, but I think the thing with a battle like that is it would be kind of hard to market.
Definitely,
you know what I mean? Like,
definitely.
As a battle,
it's for podcast hosts.
Yeah. Realistically, that battle sounds great. Like, and if it happens, I'm sure it's going to be a funny battle.
Not a unit shifter though.
Like,
no.
Yeah, the aesthetic of the battle in the first place.
Who do you want to see Lazy against?
Okay, I had a thought about this as well. I thought Lazy Arse, for doing really well here, at least, should get the return of Mr. 13.
Oh, okay.
Not Mr. 13, my bad. Mr. Ree, that's it.
Oh, Mr. Ree. Is he returning? I think he was around like a year ago. Or...
I don't know.
No.
If he gets a chance to return, that should be Lazy Arse's battle.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
That I think that they would really, for them, because they are the total opposite, but they're both 6'5" and lanky.
Crawford saying Lazy versus O'Shea.
You know what though? As much as I'd like that, okay, Lazy and O'Shea, with O'Shea is becoming a little bit like the DNA of UK battle rap,
but more like the old DNA.
Yeah, like the old, like he's kind of taking a lot of battles where he probably doesn't need to.
Mm-hmm.
That although yes, okay, Madflex, Matter and that, it was like a lot of months in preparing for it. He's almost battled everyone. Like O'Shea and Lazy Arse might be good. It might be good, but I would need to see O'Shea like just step back slightly and make that battle worth something. I don't know how much worth comes from an O'Shea battle nowadays. No,
still some. But I mean, we'll get to the title match, which
you think some
a little disappointing.
Yeah, we'll get to that as well. But just for that match in particular, because I'm just thinking like O'Shea's had great performances, but they've not been impactful. Like I think I might be all right in saying that at least an O'Shea battle, he's pretty good, but they're not earth shattering anymore. Like then it's like he just joked with Danny Jack, and he did all these. They're not earth shattering performances anymore, and I would love to see him just come back at a prime. Like even like Harry Baker was probably the last kind of prime. Maybe Kid Twist.
Yeah, O'Shea, Pedro.
O'Shea and Pedro, but that gets outshined by Pedro.
True.
Like we remember the mum joke time from Pedro, even though it was O'Shea's. It's just something that is like shows that he's back, I think.
Mm-hmm. And what about
Yeah.
Dean?
So now Ellis Dean he's kind of went on this whole battling like the vets. Like for UK battle rap, he's had a tough schedule.
Hmm.
He's had a tough schedule with like Mata and Briggsy and Lazy Arse. Like that's for anyone like just coming out of an academy like that to come over, and some people that are very much established, you know what I mean, in the culture, that is a tough break. I think for him, I wouldn't mind seeing him versus someone kind of more, even someone that was in the academy type deal. Like I think him and not like in the academy. See, it's tough to say with him. It's tough to say. Just I think Ellis Dean and Maverick.
Ooh.
Like, and actually, Maverick's a friend of mine, and I don't know, like, for him, like a return from Maverick. Maverick's fire. Like he's the bro. He's fire. I think he's just doing better things nowadays. But for him, like an Ellis Dean and that, like he's kind of like the dog of Premier Battles. You know, like someone like would be a good comeback. But you know what? I actually asked Mackenzie about what he thought of Ellis Dean, and being honest, Mackenzie, I like Mackenzie. Like I went to see him in Perth in battle. Like he's real, and that's the thing, really nice guy, you know. And I thought them two would have been a great one. It's not that he scoffed on the idea, but he was like, I could do better than that just now.
Right.
But I'm just thinking at this point, like Premier Battles, like Ellis Dean versus Mackenzie, because the rumours of going to Scotland at some point either this season or next season, that's a good main event to me anyway.
Yeah, I like the sound of that.
Yeah, like as a match day type deal. But that's just me though. But I would say if he's trying to go for anyone that's that'll put him to the test, I would say Mackenzie. But I think for him, maybe he needs to look at people that might be easier wins because he's going for the good battles. Maybe for some time, like someone that he can really show an example out of, just to kind of set in stone why he's there. But I'm sure he's got someone in his mind.
Now,
obviously, Mr. Wavy though, but
yeah, of course, Mr. Wavy. Yeah. On to the next battle then, Soul versus Madflex. Now, really enjoyed this battle, not least because Madflex referenced BRR in this show itself as a bar. I actually did have Madflex taking this, despite my protest when Flex was on like last week or so. Soul was decent, I thought Flex was better, and Soul kind of self-sabotaged a little extent.
Oh man, and that's again, salute to Soul. Always good from Kirkcaldy, like at least by that end, he's kind of near me.
Okay.
Like, that third round. Yeah. And I felt bad for him. But I always feel bad for someone who's like stumbling and stuff, but I had a little thought in my head that although people clown like a jersey or like something that says like time, I think more battlers need something like that be like, okay, I'm cutting it off here. Because explaining what you did wasn't a good look. It wasn't a good look at all. Like, maybe he should have cut the second a little short and then had the third. And then I get it, in the moment you just want to keep going and then you skip on to something else. But if he's able to try and stop himself at a point, he probably should. But that's the thing, Soul's a veteran, so I can't tell him what to do. Yeah. But I would give Madflex the first, Soul the second, and by default, Madflex the third. Because I think that he had a very good Dorian Gray bar. I won't say what the bar is, but Soul had a very good Dorian Gray bar in the second that really hit home on like just kind of bringing what his kind of angles was all together in the second.
Mm-hmm.
And it just seemed to hit home a bit more. And then Madflex, the first round, is just it's so dense that when I watched it on the pay-per-view, it's so, there's so much in there.
Everyone's paying attention, like.
Yeah, you know what?
For the most part.
We are paying attention. Like, we are paying attention to it. But it's a bit clearer on the pay-per-view in the building. It could have been a toss-up in the building, but I'd say when it came out on pay-per-view after watching it, it's like, yeah, you can see that one was Madflex round. But no, it was good though. But this is kind of the start of when the bullshit happens. This is where the gears are turning, and this is where people are getting drunker.
Yep.
And I'm
fourth battle makes sense. Fourth battle.
Yeah, You know what I mean? Like this is
time, yeah.
like when you're event and it's the battle of the night in the second battle, and then you've got a whole card to go through after. Like it's a good event, but it could be better. Now that being said, from what I'm aware of, I don't want to blame Raptor for it because I don't think it's entirely Raptor's fault. But I think a lot of people were saying it was like Raptor's crew in the back,
Right.
kind of the people that he brought. The same like with the crew that was kind of shouting about Red Flag. I think it was that kind of group that was in the back there that was kind of causing the disruption. Because it was at a point that we're all turning around to see what's going on. Because we see like Shotty and Breaksy are kind of staring them down in the back, seeing what's going on, and we're all like, okay, what's going on here, and hearing the noises and stuff. Like, yeah, it was kind of, I think it was like Raptor's crew that was kind of like not up to no good, but it was them that disrupted like the third round for Madflex.
Fucking hell, man! It was actually them. I thought that was just a random fan.
Oh no, it was more than one fan.
Yeah.
It was like a group.
Rabble. Yeah.
It was. That's all it was. But that's the thing. Like, I mean, here, Raptor brought people to the event. I can't be mad at that. He's bringing more names, and that's what all Briggs and that really want. I think is just trying to decide. We can't be at a point with UK Battle Rap where we say no to people because we need more in the building. We need more. Take it all in.
Discriminate, yeah.
Yeah, but not for now, Like maybe not to say that they were on it or anything, but maybe a drugs test for one or two people I've seen with a jaw swinging in the event.
Definitely.
Like maybe that's something worth for the future, but yeah, like let's just accept everyone in just now.
But yeah.
Yeah, like just accept everyone in just now.
Yeah,
and see how it gets on.
I mean, yeah, there's something shooting yourself in the foot if you're talking at a fucking battle rap event. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, what is so important to act like a cunt for to ruin footage for the future? Like, it's just inexcusable.
Yeah, it's wild. Like, especially just like for what that should have been battle of the night. Like that Soul and Madflex, that should have been it. Like if it wasn't that, and it was like Shocks vs AWOD. But again, we'll get to that one later.
Yeah, I mean, with this battle, I thought Soul, especially early on, had some great shit about, he does this, he'll choose a part of someone's biography and just hone in on that for like a minute or so. So with Real Deal, we get like the Dot Mob stuff, and which comes up again actually in the Real Deal J Short clash. Here we get Battle of the Zay being shat on and that whole idea,
the GC stuff, golly.
Yeah. Yeah. Just nice stuff. How's replacement, and all that, and probably wins a round at least. But yeah, because essentially what happens is Soul does get a little ways into his third. He doesn't like stop immediately as I thought he would. But yeah, he kind of reveals that. Yeah, he says that I kind of used a lot of the second, a lot of my third in the second, so I've got to run out of my third here and can't remember the second or whatever. And Madflex essentially takes control of the situation in the last 5 minutes, including the hecklers throughout the crowd that he has to have extensive.
And he's like telling Shotty and have to shut up.
Yeah.
Like let him rap over it and see if he can get their back and all that. Which again is a brave move.
Yeah.
To do that. Unique. Like it's not often that anyone's gonna be like, I've got this and stuff. But yeah, pretty much in the third it was just don't tell us that you fucked up there. I would sooner just call time or something and then we could debate the first two.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can't really. If you were to do like a boxing score or a judging system, like you would have automatically lost.
Was it altogether though like the true Soul that you want to hear? Like, was he on one of his great tears for you, or
no? But that's maybe. And again, shout out to Soul, good guy and all. But I think for this year, this might not be one of his. Well, it's probably one of his worst years. Just of battling recently.
Yeah.
Like with the Arsenal battle it was good. And I personally had Soul 3-0 in that Arsenal battle because I think Arsenal just bullshit the whole thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't received well.
No, it wasn't.
Pause. But it wasn't received well with the outside people and anyone that I was trying to argue with and like any American stuff and all that. It wasn't received well. And from there to then have this, like this is all we've got from him. Like I need to see another Soul battle by the end of the year to try and help him out, or at least in comparison to the last year.
Well, we had the Quill 2-on-2, didn't we?
Yeah, you know what? The reason I don't count that is because I don't want to judge that. It was for a good cause. I wouldn't judge that battle on anything. Although good performance, but I mean Shufflo had a better performance.
Yeah. Yeah,
And I kind of feel like shit to then say that, someone that was doing something for charity didn't do a good job, because he did do a good job. I think the consensus is that Shuffle were just amazing. That, like, because, you know what I mean?
They were.
But at least comparing what this year has been next to his last year of Tony D getting on Summer Madness, whether it's a good battle or not, or if it's still on YouTube, that's another thing. He got on Summer Madness, and he got, like, Ilmac at the end of the year, a potential for Battle of the Year. You know, like, and we kind of thought this would be the same with Madflex. But, I mean, things like that happen. I kind of thought Shocks and Ilmac would have been Battle of the Year, but that didn't turn out the way that way.
No.
Battle rap's just unpredictable, eh?
It's
just
so
really
yeah.
unpredictable.
Yeah, it really is impossible.
It's a bitch. That's what battle rap is. It's a bitch.
And you know, Madflex speaks in his third about his kind of promo tour that he's been doing, and Soul's lack of promotion, and his silence as the event was sinking. And Madflex would say, "Went on BRR, and Tom got so wet the net was flooded," which was amazing. I kind of had the background battle on in the background.
He did. Yeah. Yes, he did.
I mean, it's, you know, the third is lengthy and impressive, and he goes in on the punch, and, you know, goes on to Soul, all of his references towards the end. He gets a really big applause on his slogan, and despite the twats in the audience, you know, he fights above that with some real class and professionalism and takes the win.
Absolutely. And in the end, it's not a fight, but it's a competition. So if you get the win, you get the win. Like, that's it. That's literally it. But again, let's ask this then: what are we doing with Soul?
Well, yeah. Anything Soul fucking wants, in my opinion. But yeah.
Yeah, like, you know, I want to say I want to see Soul again, but, you know, at this point, Soul is kind of that higher tier of UK where he can just negotiate a price for him in what he does. That it'd be hard for me to tell him, oh, he needs to take a rookie, he needs to do this and that. He will do what he wants, and there'd be no heat taken of anything else. So you gotta give him credit. He's almost got his own, like, not a business thing, but he's got his own image.
Yeah.
And when he's on a card, that's the image. Actually, while we're talking about Soul, I was chatting to Eyez, and we're on about a few things. You got a Saga battle, and I'm sure we'll catch on to that in a minute. I just noticed on the little flyer, and I think it got announced today, Soul vs Tally. On the platform, in the same Briz vs Villain card.
Shit. Soul
vs Tally, and it really intrigued me. I think, because I hope if the event goes ahead, you know, it's a platform. It seems to be having. Recently, it had some shakier business and stuff, but with that battle there in particular, I hope Soul takes it out on him, because I think Soul's the type of battler that he has shown. When he's fucked up somewhere or he's not done the best, he will take that out on someone else. I'd be worried if I was Tally. I would be worried, especially with Tally's slow tempo. I think if Soul just does, you know what I mean? Like, what? Because what Tally does, okay, Soul will fit in 40 words to Tally's slogan. By the time that's done, Soul's done half a round, and he's already picked you apart by the time it's Tally. You know, like, and I hope Tally's prepared for that, because Soul is someone that bounces back, and that's what makes him one of the best. But again, I would like to see him give someone an opportunity. I don't know, Soul versus Mackenzie. It's not happening. I know he's kind of gunning for Respect BA. I don't know what Respect BA is doing nowadays, but we know Mackenzie is still battling, and he is still very fucking good. I would like to see them at some point, personally, like a Bristol Battle League or something.
DF Scotland proper card or something.
Yeah, there's the new DF Scotland that's just that was on the same day, actually.
Yes, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, like something like that. When there's a big main event, I would drive to go to that if I was in Glasgow. I'm in the east, that's in the west. I will drive 100 and something miles to go watch.
Damn, yeah. Yeah. Soul versus Mackenzie, I'd love to see that.
Like, if anything, but again, maybe just, I do want to see the old school, new school, but that's again, I like to see the storylines unfold.
And it was unfortunate then that Shocks just no-showed apparently versus A-Ward.
Oh my, yeah. See,
after everything that I mean, Shocks has his reasons, I'm sure, but
yeah, like it just looked really bad. Like, it was like the video of him saying, "Oh, we ain't ducking this. Oh, he better be ready." And then this, like, I wish we knew a couple of days before or something. like, I don't know if it's like a non-contact thing or if they did and the league decided not to mention it. I wish we knew prior, but because like the whole transparency thing, like with PB, and it's been so refreshing that they tell us everything that's going on. Like, so this happened live tonight. Oh, this happened live tomorrow night at 8 p.m. and we'll explain it all. And the transparency, I don't want to say I hope that he just no-showed, but I hope that at least the league wasn't entirely sure and we're too busy with the Apex event to explain what's going on the next day. But I would be good to hear a statement from someone about that. Or if they might rebook it, I don't know. I don't know, but I'm sure you're going to hear Talks say something wild on his Sarcasm City podcast about it. Eh?
Yeah,
he was wearing a do-rag.
Okay.
Like I just called him Murder Mook, but I wanted to ask him about. I wanted to ask for a wave check, see how he's getting on with it. But I thought, fuck it, he's too busy. But no, he was like do-rag, the old murder. It's quite funny to see actually.
And I mean, what the fuck can you say? What a shame for A-Ward.
Oh yeah. You could see A-Ward was a little bit good. You could see it, but he was having the time of his life.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. He seemed to be really enjoying the battles, like.
Yeah, like he was enjoying the event, like from seeing it from the crowds, because obviously the camera points at the crowd. Mm-hmm. He's enjoying a lot of the battles. Like he was definitely excited.
Yeah. And what was the balance then? There seemed to be quite a lot of people on the actual stage itself.
You know what? It wasn't too many on the stage. There wasn't too many, but there was enough. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like Summer Impact Reloaded, for example. It wasn't too many people, but it was enough. You know what I mean? Like, but it was good. Like for the people that was on there, it was like everyone that was worth being on there was on there. I don't think it was any entourage.
Yeah, was there nothing at all? No.
Not really. It was like Team America and then some on like it's kind of quote Team UK side.
And I guess there were people with stage passes and stuff, right?
Yeah. But they were kind of behind the DJ, kind of.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like they were around. They were like in the semicircle across. It didn't really matter if it looked busy or not. Like because it's the cameras at the crowd.
And again, listeners, I just want to remind you that this is available on pay-per-view. Pick one up like I have myself. You can watch all these battles. Put the link down below. Now, the next battle properly was that Real Deal versus Jay Short.
Yes, Real Deal. I think because it was that. Then it was the title. Yeah. Real Deal versus Jay Short. Now, Real Deal. He's just the fucking best, isn't he? Yeah. He really is. He just comes up all the time, does what he needs to do. Bish bash bosh. Pushed to the side, like he just does everything he needs to do. I personally had him 3-0, like, but that's not anything to take away from Jay Short. This was probably the best Jay Short. But
Jay Short's writing was fantastic, but I'm sick of Jay being in his like I'm talking my bars bag.
Yeah.
Like if you compare it to the Frankie battle or the Crafty battle, he just seems so much more alive in those battles.
He's relying a lot on his freestyles.
Hell of a lot.
And that's probably the highlights of his rounds. And it's sad, it's bad to say, but I mean he's made that crutch for himself, and now he has to go with it. Although he did great with it, but it's like we're waiting on the next rebuttal. It's the Chef Trez problem.
Yes.
Now we're expecting 3 of them things. Now we're expecting a mid-round rebuttal somewhere, and we won't take to the writtens as much as the freestyles because we see what's going on and it's easier to get. You know. But I would personally say that, like Real Deal, just done everything he needed to do to win, and just had the crowd on the palm of his hand from start to end. I don't think there was anything up with the crowd at this battle, was there?
No, but with a master like Real Deal at the helm, like he's just so comfortable with it. Like you know what I mean? You want to go along with it.
And that. I'm not sure because that was after the Madflex. That was like not long after the Madflex situation. Mm-hmm. So there was like not to say anything bad about Madflex because me he's great, but Real Deal had the crowd more. Like he had everyone. We was all just like watching him and reacting accordingly. Hey, like when he said the bar that he knew was gonna be fire, when he said it, then boom, he was reacting. He knew how to pace it out and like pace around his round and stuff. Like. He definitely was on one, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, don't want to give away too many bars here, but the pupils line was maybe one of the lines of the night, I'd say.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
And then the rebuttal.
Rebuttal was good as well, yeah, but we just got this sort of... I get too much of a Bangs flavour at time. It's too conversational.
Yeah. Like, I could definitely tell you that I love Bangs.
Oh, yeah,
Bangs
definitely.
He's one of my favourites. And kind of like my little group of, like, friends. Like, I say little group of friends. Friends with a lot of people in battle rap nowadays. But my little circle that I always try and, like, I talk to, like, about everything and, like, how I conceptualize my opinion by speaking to these people. They love the Bangs and the Reaper Rail. That's like one of those PGs we always go back to.
Yeah. And
we're Bangs, just want him to come back and just be the best Bangs. But it's I can see this with Jay Short happening, that we're just needing a little more. I don't know what it is. Maybe he needs to look at the crowd more. I don't know, like, you probably did see Cassidy and Goods, like Cassidy didn't really perform. He looked at Goods the entire time. Do you know what I mean? Like, with a crowd as big as a different size of crowd, obviously, you do need to look at the crowd and kind of gesture at him looking at the crowd. You know, when it's like you clown someone and you're like, look at him, and you're pointing at him because he's a dickhead in the corner. Look at him. Like, but you're really trying to get everyone's attention. Maybe you need to do a little bit more of that instead of just trying to, like, zone in on him. That's a big stage thing, though. Like, a small room or, like, the match day rooms, you can do that because it's normally a pit anyway. But that, in particular, needs to be more to the crowd, from what I see.
Yeah. Jay, this was your battle for the taking, mate. Like, always the complaints that Jay Short deserves a plate, and here is against one of the very best, one of the most consistent, always gives a brilliant battle, always lives up to it, and faces off with the opponent in a convincing way. Think of the Soul Battle. It's an astonishing piece of work. But yeah, some of his writing in this is so good, Jay Short. Like, loved so much of his work here. But yeah, just because it's not played with that conviction, it just gets it's messy at times. Doesn't seem like he knows the material too well. He's pausing at the start of lines, and it's a little bit difficult. Real Deal getting on his, like, Facebook Lad Bible event steez, getting the sort of hipster rant in the third. Could go very viral, that.
Yeah. Really could. Like, he's the man. He really is. He is the man. That could absolutely go viral. Like, but it needs to be promoted accordingly. So hopefully that PB jump on top of that.
I hope so,
I'll tell you what, let's ask this then. What are we doing with Jay Short?
It's difficult, isn't it? I mean, what do we reward him, or do we just pit him against another freestyler? Or?
Oh, well, you know what? That might be.
He was good here. I mean, he got beaten quite badly, but he was good.
Yeah, you know what? That's the thing. Like, I can't say that. I'd say this is one of the best Jay Shorts, but it's just Real Deal. You know what I mean? It was like a good Real Deal and one of the best Jay Shorts. It's there was a difference, but I do think he deserves to be rewarded. And maybe he should have got the Chef Trez. Like, obviously, we're not booking Chef Trez because he can't get a password and he steals deposits.
I know.
But like, as someone that could do that, like, we already had Sharon. Maybe Big Cannon, if you were to do like a international, like. But I think for him, like, how many of, like, the UK mid tier, like the dialect level, has he battled? Like,
it's a good question. He's never battled dialect, yeah.
Yeah, because there's a few that he's kind of feel like he's missed out on. I don't know, maybe just from, like, real life stuff. I feel like somewhere in the, like, if dialect ever return, I don't know. What?
Respect BA.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. Respect BA. Like, he freestyles pretty well too. Like, when he needs to. Yeah. And that, like, and I think they both would have a lot to take on each other. They're actually kind of similar in that sort of way when I really think about it. But that might be a good style clash. But that maybe he doesn't. That's not a stock drop. No. Like, if you had Mr. Unbiased back or whatever, and he was doing, like, stock drop.
Hopefully he's never released. But yeah.
Apparently he's free. Is
he free?
Yeah, like, you know what's actually wild? I can tell you that he is free. He actually commented on a picture from, like, 2 years ago.
No.
Like, 2 weeks ago.
No, I'm back.
Like, yeah, like, it was kind of like that. It was a sad face, right? And I know this because I totally didn't really think about it. I still had him as a friend on Facebook, so I went over and checked all when I seen screenshots. and it is a legit conversation of him just like taking a bit of time off battle rap. Maybe he'll come back to it, but he'll need to explain his end first. Like he's out, out. Like, and just to go off topic slightly there. But if we were to do like a stock drop with Jay Shaw, I think he'd be on a stock rise. Like, because he had like 2 lists, the stock rise, stock drop. Yeah, he'd be on the up, and he deserves some sort of reward for it, considering his year has been the DMAC thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, where he had a good round and all that cut-off shot. I think that's the only... That and the... And this real deal.
Scabman Scowdy, I think?
I'll be honest, I don't think I watched that. Was that on Chopped Out or something?
Yeah.
Was that a square one? I can't remember. Mm-hmm. But he hasn't had a bad year. Maybe he deserves something for the end of it.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. And again, I just want to stress I'm kind of at odds with this battle to a certain extent because the writing I admire so heavily from Jay, but the performance was a little bit, I don't know, just didn't really have that kind of that liveliness that I need. He's
never been the biggest performer though, from what I think of.
No, that's a good point. But yeah, I think against Real Deal, it just casts a lot of things into stark relief, and he just, especially considering the circumstances again, what a gentleman he is, and he gave a brilliant performance. Unan versus Bobby Rex. How's this?
Okay, let's do that one first then.
Mm-hmm. Oh, sorry. Fuck this. Sorry, man. I got my notes in the wrong order. Okay, so we'll get to the. So we get to the next battle, which is the title match for the Premier Battles belt. Matter is the holding champ versus O'Shea. Now, with all the cancellations that came through, this battle got bumped higher and higher. It is a meeting of 2 legends who have battled before. Was it Clash Money? I think they battled on B for like a round or 2 or something like that. But O'Shea Matter. Matter
was on like Clash Money because he battled Raptor and that as well. Like,
yes, that's right. Yeah. That was cool. They had a good series of events going at one point. But Matter versus O'Shea for you, Cameron.
Right, Matter versus O'Shea with me. First thing, just while it's on my mind, I need to say this, right? And shout out like Briggs. I don't mean to take a shot at you or nothing, but if you're trying to do this, we're announcing the champion, big confetti, like a big celebration because it looked amazing. Gold, gold bits of paper was everywhere. It was all shiny. Put that battle at the end of the event. Like, there was still another battle to happen, and people, like, covered in, like, gold paper and purple, like, toilet rolls, like, as the last battle is still happening. Like, Yunan, when we talk about that, he's, like, stepping on all these gold bits of paper.
Right.
Like, it's really weird that they decided to do that then, and then they went for the last battle after. And if they wanted to do that, clean the whole floor up. Because it's one of those things that I just thought, well, you're making a big deal of it. What a great way to end an event where... fireworks, all like that. But no, they went, we're just going to let these guys battle on top of this shiny shit for another round. You know what I mean? Like, it's a bit weird. It was like we had the climax, and then we just kind of got the aftermath of it. But O'Shea versus Matter. Now, as another thing as well, God, I'm going to be taking a shot at PB here. I've never been a fan of their judging system.
No.
Because the reason being for that judging system, at least, is that how it is, it's a little score sheet of just like, their presence and their bars and their lyrics and like the problem with a score sheet like that, and this is probably where we get a bit deeper inside of battle rap. Pause. When it comes to this sort of thing, battle rap is so interpretive. It's you could do the best you and win. If you like tick so many like scores on a sheet, you're developing. The score will make a new style out of a battler. And the reason that Matter is winning all these battles, been like 7, 8 battles won in a row, is because his style ticks every single box.
Yeah.
Someone like a B Magic, let's say B Magic, I'm just going to use him for example. B Magic would get 0 on jokes, 0 on, maybe 5 on charisma, but like the punchlines and flow, he would get like 8, 9s, like a prime B Magic. But with someone like O'Shea, who did kind of, he messed up his third slightly, and I still had him winning. I had O'Shea 2-1. I think I had O'Shea like the first and the third, but he kind of fucked up the third when I watched it on the pay-per-view again, and I get why he didn't win the battle. But with the judging system that they have, you craft someone's style. Like I think Soul would get away with it, but I don't think like an Aver would get away with it. like major concerns might not. If he really does more judge battles, his style might not cater so much to what a lazy arse Jack could do.
Right.
Or, you know what I mean? Like, there's battlers that just kind of have more in their arsenal in the first place. That's someone that, like O'Shea, who's just being funny, loud, and progressively getting drunker. He's not going to score so well on all the areas
sure,
in
there's
a
no
battle.
structure, really, is there? Like,
yeah, there should, and I personally don't believe there should be a structure. Like in battle rap, you can do what you want, do what you feel fit, and hopefully, and if it works, and you win. If it all comes together and it hits hard, it gets the reactions, you can win that. You know, but it just seemed with O'Shea that he was doing O'Shea, but O'Shea doesn't get that many points on a scorecard, and that's probably why Martyr won.
Yeah, I mean, O'Shea, he wasn't necessarily the hero of battle rap that you wanted him to be. Like, if he was on his A game, he could have just swept the board here, I think, and displayed the various traits. He's kind of like back from holiday O'Shea type thing. Like, he just didn't seem quite as sharp or as practiced.
Yeah.
A
little bit. But that's the thing. I'd seen them both drinking together, like Martyr and O'Shea. So they're like friends anyway. Obviously, they are. But, like, they were, like, if there was anyone that O'Shea was drinking with that I seen, it was Martyr.
And he's, he still had a lot of his kind of, bolt out the blue sort of slams, the trap house, invented a biscuit kind of idea. Matter and his nana bitches type thing.
Yeah. I think as well, like the first round, it was like, okay, O'Shea's got this in the first round. You can see, you can kind of see that it's sort of like, okay, this is the difference of what someone with maybe a little more character to him, and that's nothing bad to Martyr.
Yeah.
Like Martyr's like style of battling is different, and there's not as much, I suppose, not as much flair as an O'Shea, but with how O'Shea was, like he was really high peak at round one, and it was just a progressive downslope to the third.
Yeah.
But when you have someone like Martyr who's like consistently at a level, like where the downslope is in comparison to like the good or the bad side, let's say, if you're kind of losing a little bit by the middle of the second round, you're probably going to lose that round and then lose the battle if you keep declining. And I think with O'Shea, he just kind of kept declining. Although he had the crowd in his hand when he was singing all the songs, but that singing the songs, the like, what do you do? The tell you what I want, what I really,
Girls,
really want. Yeah, like that. That's kind of.
It's kind of like when Saga had that Metal Gear Solid sound against Snake Eyez.
Oh, but that was fire though.
That was fire.
That was so fire. I can't use that one. I'd say it was more like a King of the Ronald type deal. You know when the like Mickey Fax, Mickey Worthless. Yeah, it was Mickey Fax. Like Mickey Worthless is like singing a song in a battle. I think it was like Archaic and that way back in Don't Flop. And then like all other battles, he does do a bit of singing.
That's right. He does. Yeah.
It was one of those type deals, and I thought, you could have done a little better there.
It was the kind of sozzled Osh archetype, and Matter was more focused and more built for the long run, as you say. He gets into a lot of real shit Matter in the second and third, like just basically exposing O'Shea, be like, here's some tales from our debauched night outs and what a cock he looked.
Yeah. Like, it's absolutely, mate. Like, you're right in saying that for sure, that he's just sort of, he just gathered evidence over the years, let's say. And was able to,
O'Shea just kind of, as you say, kind of falls apart, really, as it goes through, unfortunately.
A little bit, and it's a shame. But like I said, I thought I had O'Shea winning in the building, but when it comes to, like, the judging system, the crowd doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? It's whatever's on the papers, and I can see why on the papers someone like Matter would win. But
Matter took it. And what was the energy like here? Like, as we're getting through, like,
so the energy. Okay, when Matter's announced as a winner, the energy is great. Like, I don't. Maybe it's just me that's thought that O'Shea won, but the energy is pretty good. But again, it's like we've climaxed. We've climaxed on this big confetti cannon that's on everyone. But then it's Briggs, now is the main event. I'm like, well, I thought that was the main event. Like, I thought that, why is the confetti here? But I think by this point, the energy's still okay. And there's people that are wanting to see Yunan versus Bobby. Yeah. Yeah, well, I guess we've got to talk about it now then, eh?
Bobby Rex behaved like a fucking asshole in this battle.
That's a little bit, like, you know what? I had
Jesus.
quite an encounter with Bobby before the battle. Again, that like I was just chilling out. I think it was after maybe it was after the red flag battle. I was chilling out with the people I was with. We're just drinking a little bit, and Bobby
Mm-hmm.
walks past. He knows kind of everyone that's there, so he's kind of like shaking hands and stuff. But I had a little back and forth with him before about. I think like I shook his hand and just said he did well versus Caustic, but I never actually had him winning a round. He just kind of did him. Do you know what I mean? And doing
Yeah, yeah.
him, there's a standard that he sets, and he did what he needed to do in the battle, and that people enjoy. So I've always had respect for him for just doing him, sticking to his guns, and well, having the fans agree with him. Again, I do assume that I'm just a little different when I believe that when I listen to that sort of thing. But this wasn't a well performed Bobby, unfortunately, and he knows this more than anyone that this battle was just not. Oh man, oh he's walking out. He's got the really aggressive eyes. Like I think
Yeah.
he's just he really just didn't.
It's not a
He
good
knew his
energy.
material, but
It's
yeah, like
toxic.
oh it did just sort of change as soon as I think it was as soon as it got to like the second round. Like the first round, the energy is kind of okay. That we're kind of laughing at what Bobby's doing, but it's okay. Like that's a pretty smooth round, and it could be close in the building. That could have been close, like close enough that anyone that was a fan of Bobby could say, "Oh yeah, he won that round." I would say personally, but I do have again. I have a 3-0, but anyone that is a fan of Bobby, you could see why he would have won that round personally. But I don't know. What do you think about him, mate?
Clean 3-0, yeah. And I don't know
Yeah,
how you could be a
Jesus.
fan of Bobby, like, just barking loudly and
Yeah.
just making everyone sort of cringe out slightly. And he goes beyond the bark in the ear. And R.I.P. fucking Yunan's ear canal, by the way. Like, he
Oh
was
Jesus.
stoic
Yeah.
in this battle. Like, he didn't,
Like,
move an inch. Well, until the third, which we'll get to, which was pretty crazy.
yeah.
But Bobby seems to patented the thing where you don't only scream someone, you sort of squinch your nose up against their ear and like really kind of violate that space. It's just like, does this guy not understand? This is a fucking word fight. Like, we're not here for these COD
Yeah.
theatrics. Like,
You know what though? You know what with that? Like, if he was saying like a few more punchlines and stuff and being like that
yeah,
much in his face, I would be reacting. I would be. Oh yeah,
sure.
go! Like if he had that same aggression with a little different material, and then there's a little bit of there was the most transparent mix match of what he's saying versus how he's acting.
Mm.
Like if he was saying the stuff that matched how he was acting, I'd be with it, and I wouldn't have too much of a problem with him being right in his face and saying all the things. But the difference between what he's saying and what he's doing is two different battlers.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I'd say personally, that's me. Again, I'm full of hot takes. So if anyone can just call me out and just say,
Let's talk
"Yo,
about Yunan though. I mean, what a go overall.
oh
And
yeah,"
he's fucking great here. This is like some vintage like dialect Chris Lees Yunnan. Like,
and you know what though? Like this is like from what I'm aware of, this is a good year for Yunnan. Like like you had the battle with Lazy Arse that hasn't come out yet, but
mm,
apparently beat him as well quite clearly. And plus this, like he's on the return. And it was vintage. You know what I mean? It was
yeah,
the vintage Yunnan. And I think that him and Raptor were both very vintage on this whole event, really. It was what we were wanting. But
yeah, they brought the goods.
yeah, like Yunnan was just like it's what we wanted. It's not what we expected. I'll tell you that because I actually had, considering me and Bobby's back and forth, like prior and plus with the caustic thing, I did have him like as a bet, not a bet, but I did have him winning 2-1, like as the battle was about to happen.
Mm.
And I told him that as well. Like this one in particular, I got you winning. And at the time when I said that to him, he was all spirits and all fine. Just I know it's just a different energy as soon as he got on that stage.
Yeah, and it's like it was Yunan's versatility as well. We do get the classic monstrosity, the what is Rex next to Godzilla, and
Yeah,
that kind of idea that gets people really hyped. But then when he just
yeah,
slows stuff down and he's like, "Remember, Bobby, I know all about the racist shit," and he like takes a moment for it all
yeah.
to sink in, and it doesn't really go anywhere with it, but just there's an aspect of dread that he brings to his arsenal there.
But what's really smart about that is it puts Bobby out of character. It puts a lot of battlers out of character that I'm going to tell you I know it, but I'm not going to say it. And I'm going to see how you react.
Yeah.
It's really, really smart on Yunan. A little bit of that shook him. From what I've seen, it seemed a little bit shaken by it. Not shaken as in, like, affected in the round, but, like, you could see the little head, kind of the head tilt in that he was listening. Let's say that.
And Bobby has a minor breakdown in the second, kind of asking Yunan to get something out, and like everyone's like, "What the fuck's happening?"
So you know what it was? It was someone said, "Suck my dick,"
right?
Or something. And then he's like, "Pull it out, then. Pull it out." I'm like, "What are you doing, Bobby?" Like, you know what I mean? Like, pull it out. Like, fucking hell, Bobby. Like, you're not. There's no fellatio in the middle of battle, or we're walking out. Like, we're not doing that. But yeah, if someone did say like, I think a fan said something, and then Yunan said "suck my dick" to the fan, and then Bobby's like, "Pull it out, then."
Yeah, it's like the shock sensor battle as well. Bobby sort of ruined that.
Yeah, like I remember that as well. Like, but that's the thing. Bobby is a character, and I do always wish the best for Bobby when he's battling or when he's doing anything. But I think he'll need to take a break, and then he'll tell you that firsthand. Like, he need to take a break or something. Just think about what he's doing. Be excited for a battle. Because I thought he was excited. And a lot of these, without mentioning forum stuff, because I know it's very prevalent in the UK about the forum and stuff, right? Like, you kind of think, like, looking at the post before, same way that Raptor's talking, Bobby's doing the same. So, with how Raptor performed, I think a few people in the room, me included a little bit, thought, oh yeah, this is a Manny crowd. This is Manchester bias. This should be a cakewalk. Yunan might be stepping into some fire here. And it didn't quite turn out like that. But Yunan just handed himself like a real veteran. Like,
yeah,
we were running out of veterans like that. So to have one back like that is a good feeling for the scene. Like a proper return, like, vet. You know what I mean? Like, with because there's no one else. Like, it's like Soul that still battles. But then, is there really anyone like... It goes from, like, Soul, like, kind of on his own island a little bit. I can't think of too many people on that level. To then your Dialects and your Zens, kind of like the next level, your J Shorts. And, like, because there's a Gemini, but he's barely battling. But he's kind of on that same Dialect, not tier, but that era. We're kind of missing that old era from, like, the Jefferson Price, Yunan battle type era. And, you know, it was very refreshing to have him back and just back on form. Let's say that then.
Yeah, it really was a beautiful homecoming, and there's 2-0 chants going down.
Oh yeah,
you know.
we were all part of that.
Yeah.
We were all part of that. Like, we were all doing like the hand signs and that, like, woo. Because, you know, I'm on that Summer Madness time when I'm at these events. Like, you literally hear me go, yeah. That's me. I hear something I think is pretty good, and the crowd's kind of like, oh, that's okay, and I'm like, yeah, and then the crowd all start to applaud after, like, you know what I mean? Like, the crowd itself is also... I'm really bad for that at the World Dom event. The World Dom event, Eyez is rapping, right? All you hear is me going, yeah, because I'm trying to get some sort of energy, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, oh, man. But, yeah, like, I only do that because I feel like the crowd wants to react. And if someone is actually doing it, then you definitely notice the follow-on. Like, if you have one person that sort of starts it, and then everyone else comes around. Like, if you watch some of them other battles again, and you'll probably hear me going, to be honest, I'm probably worse for it on, like, Red Flag's third, because I'm, like, I'm low-key hating on Raptor for, like, mocking gingers, and everyone's, like, looking at me in the crowd. Well, not everyone, but, like, the people around are definitely looking at me and laughing when I'm, like, looking at my freckles, and he's saying that we've all got AIDS. And I'm, like, looking, like, down at me, like, well, fuck me, I guess. Like, you might probably hear it the worst. But, like, you go through some of the battles. That's the reason why you should buy the pay-per-view. Just to hear someone go, yeah, like, all the time.
And, like, the battlers are all mic'd up as well. So on the pay-per-view, what you hear that you sometimes hear on others, you get to hear the sort of close-up little interactions and stuff at the end of rounds. And look, I don't want to encourage this type of behaviour, or necessarily do I sanction a crowd doing so. But I feel in this battle, the crowd should have booed Bobby.
Yeah.
Especially
probably.
his third, when he starts arguing with the crowd. And then,
I was right
legit
next to
punches
them.
Yunan in the face. Like, there's no two ways around what he does.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Spoiler, I think that's a bit of a jump, eh? We're just like, oh yeah, so round 1, round 2, and he gets punched in the face. But yeah, like, it's that there. I don't even know if that was part of a scheme. Like, maybe it was, and maybe I just didn't catch it. But it literally, the swing, that's when the room, the vibe of the room just all changed as soon as that swung happened. Like, you know what it was? Like, he just stopped, and then he tapped his jaw. But you know what? Yunan held himself as a professional. Did. A lot of battlers, anyone else did that, then battle's over. And we resolved thinking, oh, we'll shut down the event. Like, he kind of deserves it. Like, if that was to happen, not to say he deserves to get hit. I'll never tell anyone that. But you've swung and you've tapped them in the jaw. Like, we cannot control someone's reaction to that. But, yeah, that third was just a bit of a disaster. It really was. And the people that were arguing, right, I was right next to them. And they were, like, arguing with each other. I think it was something that, I think one of the guys was like, oh yeah, we'll talk outside. Yeah, we'll talk outside. And then obviously got called out for it in the middle of the battle. And if you see anything in the footage, you probably see me with my hands up, like, creeping away. Because it's not me, but I'm right next to them, so I'm caught in the crossfire. So I'm just fucking getting the fuck out of there. Because I ain't trying to get dissed. I'm not trying to get no camera time like that. Fuck that. I don't want my legacy to be, oh yeah, he got picked on by Bobby Rex while he was fucked up. Yeah.
Bobby was such a clown in this battle, man. And it's a miracle that his behaviour didn't ruin the entire clash, because Yunan still delivers 3 great rounds.
Yeah, and I'd say that Bobby goes first, so Yunan still has a third after getting his jaw tapped. So really impressed. And mind you, like I said, they're all around stepping on this bloody
right, yeah, I couldn't see that on the pay-per-view.
The floor's covered in confetti. The floor is literally shining. Like, I'm surprised when you like a buttercup and you have like the dandelion or whatever, the buttercup flower, and you like even like butter and you put it underneath your chin and it lights up. I'm surprised like they weren't yellow for the amount of just like confetti that was all on the ground. It's like they should have cleaned that up, but I think a little bit in the battles that you hear is like Bobby Rex is walking, just like the autumn leaves that are kicking on the ground. Like
foliage.
Oh yeah, like they should have just done that at the very end, and the end of the event would have been a lot better. At least if they did that.
And that was the end of the event, right? The final battle.
Pretty much, yeah. Because I mean, Shocks ducked. But that's the thing. That for what was 12, well, it was on battle rap time, so it was like from like 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. It went on to like 7:30.
Yeah,
which isn't bad considering. No. But I mean, it's battle rap time. It's not anything else. So, but they managed to do all the battles. Like, as an event, I would say it was like 6.5 out of 10.
Okay, people have been rating it a bit higher. I've seen online averagely.
I mean, I think part of that. I mean, and you know what? And they have every right to. They have every right to compare. I mean, I'm comparing it off the last events that I've been at. It's definitely in the middle between World Dom and Summer Madness. And as an event, like the battles are good. At the start, it was great, and it was going on to be like an 8 out of 10. Like with the first 3 battles at least, it was looking to be a very good event. And then that's when the crowds got a little bit too disruptive and a little bit more, you know what I mean? That it's just a shame. And I do think it's really ironic. And again, I don't mean to punch on Raptor or nothing about this. I do think it's a little bit ironic that with the Raptor and the Madflex and Soul situation, like kind of his people and that, he's trying to tell the people in the Bobby Rex battle to shut up.
Yeah.
I thought that was a little bit ironic. But again, that's just me. Just thinking off the top of the head there. I thought it was a little bit like, you probably could have held off on that. But yeah, as an event in its entirety. Now, there's little things, I won't go into detail on nothing that happened at the event, a little squabble, really. And that, if anyone that follows UK Battle Rap, they'll find out about it. I'm not going to try and snitch on that type deal. It's not in my character. So
sure.
Yeah, there was a little squabble, but that was about it. Nothing too serious. just mad, really.
And
just
any
mad.
any final thoughts? Any kind of memories you'd like to share or anything like that? Just before we move on.
Oh, well, to be honest, I've just sort of scattered them around this whole plate.
Yeah, no, it doused in
A
them
little bit.
like the floor. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of anything else. Nothing I could really think of really at the top of the head now. I think the villain back and forth I was really gassed for. I think like you know what, Don Pape's gone pretty lit. Like he was on like the stage pass, chilling with the battlers the day before.
Yeah.
Like being a UK blogger, he's gone pretty lit himself. Like
he's like the major concerns of bloggers, like.
Yeah.
Like
he's the major concerns. Like who are you of the bloggers then?
I'm the grizzled old vet. I'm LSD.
You're LS. Oh, so you're okay. Well, good for you for being on the same level. But it's just it just seemed like you were just trying to like underhand him slightly.
No, he's sick.
Obviously not. I'm just being.
I know. Yeah. No.
I'm just being a shit star. You know what I mean?
I mean, talking of shit being stirred, then I mean, again, guys, go get the pay-per-view for the Premier Battles.
Yeah,
event.
Absolutely. I would recommend it. Like as
good pay-per-view.
You know what? Red Flag versus Raptor is worth the pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that is worth the pay-per-view for really how well they did.
Mm-hmm. And so just finally then, Summer Madness Reloaded went down yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Or Summer Impact Reloaded. And
I tell you, I'm that type of loser, right? I'm a battle rap loser in the end, right? Really I am. Instead of going to an after party that I had the invite and stuff to go and drink more and enjoy my time in Manchester, I go back to my bloody the apartment. Well, me and the people that I'm with, we went back to the apartment to watch this fucking Summer Madness Reloaded, right? Summer Impact, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ah, what a bad event that was.
I'm hearing it's horrible.
And you know what though? I'm totally full of shit. Like I've been giving people from America so much stick. Like the people that were giving me the same stick, I'm like atting them and all that, and just be yeah. I finished the objective, did you? Next one. But no, if we're going through that real quick, what was the first one? Apparently, Jack Boy and franchise happened.
He choked all 3 rounds. I heard.
Yeah, he choked all 3. Apparently, and I always say apparently because that was like a venue battle, really.
Right.
Jack Boy, man. Before we do anything else, actually, I keep forgetting to do this. What are we doing? So what we did up to J Short. What are we doing with O'Shea and Matter before we get back to anything else?
Damn, I think again they just kind of sustain their own orbit, and it's difficult. They've just got so much legendary history that O'Shea against Pat Stay, I wouldn't scoff at that if that was an all-star. Like he deserves it still.
Yeah, I get that. Absolutely. Then maybe I shouldn't say either of them.
Matter though, maybe Matter versus Major. I'd like to see for some sort of title match.
Yeah. What do we do with Yunnan then? Let's forget about Matter and Major and
Yunnan needs an all-star slot.
Oh yeah, he deserves it. There's no if and but about it. I would low-key would say Raptor would kind of deserve it, but for what he did in particular, probably needs a one more. At least,
yeah.
But with Yunnan, Yunnan, even if it's versus another person from the UK, he does need that all-star slot. But I mean, who against though?
Difficult, yeah. Most of the big guys he's gone against, he's always been that battering ram. To think who'd even be there, yeah.
I'm to be honest, all-star. I'm thinking international. I think he probably deserves.
Yeah, maybe him versus Red Flag or something.
Ooh. Maybe you know what?
Not a good. Yeah, he needs maybe a bit of a bigger look, but
yeah, a little bit bigger. I mean, Red Flag would be a good battle, but Unanimous versus. See, I want to say Thesaurus and that because I know they have a back and forth, but they have a bad history.
That would be fucking great. I'd love that.
Yeah, it's not. That'd be a bit of maybe a grudge match. I think they've had a history.
I think there's some footage outside 4th Birthday where Yunnan is bowled over that Saurus is there. I think he's really happy about it.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that would be good though.
Maybe.
That would be good.
Yeah, a Yunnan Thesaurus or, I mean, I was going to say Caustic. But I'm just thinking of the West Coast battlers here that I think that they're at least maybe a little bit easier to take over out of contracts and stuff. Or maybe like, a Unanimous. That I would accept that for a shot for Unan, because if there's anyone that deserves the international at this point, it's definitely him.
And what about Bobby?
Take a break. Take a break. Like, and that's the thing with Bobby. Like, I hope all the best for him. Hey, there's no anything. I need to say this. Anything I say here, or anything I say like in the Black Compass media, like, if I'm at an event and I say something that you find offensive, if it's offensive, I will apologize. If you think I'm wrong, tell me why I'm wrong. Like, I'm okay with it. Like, I even had one or two people like talk to me and say, "Oh, you think you said this somewhere?" And it's like, "Oh well, I don't know if that's entirely." And just at least explain the points and stuff. That's what battle rap is, and it's the best part of battle rap, to talk about these things and in the discourse. You know what I mean? It's the best part of battle rap in the end, that having like-minded people, like, especially being from where I'm from. Like, I just met this guy called Eyez. I mean, I'll give him a shout out. You might be listening at some point when it's like uploaded. He like in the army. He's from like, I think he's from Kirkcaldy as well. Same with Soul. With people like us in Scotland and UK battle rap, like, nobody listens to it here. Nobody. Like, there's literally the only people I can talk to, like, outside of like the forums and that, is like the people that I speak to, like, from like Liverpool and all these areas. No one around here would say anything about battle rap, and would just turn it off if it's on. So it's one of the best things about battle rap. So that being said, if I've said something that's a little bit wild or something, even DM me or something. I'll be there somewhere and we can talk about it. Like, I'm all about doing things civilly and that. Hey, but that being said, with Bobby Rex, he needs to have a break. Like, I don't know. Maybe it was just later on in the day that he was just like, oh, he's not doing well or something. He just might be burned out, because he was in good spirits at the start of the event. And when I was speaking to him, he was really nice guy and all. Like, I don't know, maybe he just burned out or something, and then just maybe, I don't know. He was just too much. He was just far too much for what it was. But no, I wish him the best, but he does need a break. Maybe he should just start writing bars just like in his own time with no name, and just make the material first. Because it seems that he's just trying to like write something as he writes something really like close to the event. If he has the sort of build a verse starter kit, maybe he'll be a bit more polished, because it's stuff that he knows already, that not like the whole like the Iron Solomon like Fight Club thing where it's like put in a name and then you use this verse, but like having like concepts and things that you can jot down that you want to try next time, and just expand on that when you can. Maybe that'll help him like see his thoughts where he is and put them in a better, like, just fit the jigsaw pieces in better. But for him, he just needs to take a break, and I'm sad to say that, but he does.
Yeah, it's really embarrassing from him in this battle.
Yeah,
you know,
being honest, right?
Honest, but getting quickly on then to the Summer Impact card.
Yeah, let's talk about
it. Snake Ace, how did that go down?
Snake and Ace, now, I think the common consensus building up now is that Snake won. I had Ace win. Okay. The only reason I really had Ace winning, okay? I think Snake won the first, relatively convincing. I watched that. I missed the first originally, but I'll rewatch that. I think Snake won the first. I gave Ace the second, although the first is close, and I gave Ace kind of got the second pretty clear. But what happens in the third round? Things are getting a bit more aggressive. Like, Ace Amin's been pushing Snake around in the battle, and I tell you what, Ace Amin, he is really showing off as a star, like, in battle rap. He is showing up, considering he was like 11 years in prison. Like, I'm not snitching or nothing. He said that himself, 11 years in prison, and coming out at like September and started doing like 6 battles, and now he's on a stage of 3,000 people. Like, he's doing fucking amazing. Like, knowing when to stop. He's clearly had the tips and helping him out. He's done fucking awesome. And Snake was pretty good. It's one of the best Snakes. It actually is. And what's really powerful here is that I think this is the first Snake battle, and at least that I've noticed, that T-Rex is behind him. And that's powerful. And the reason I say that, it does relate in the third as well. That it shows the Dot Mob power. You know what I mean? Like, Dot Mob is just being such a classic group when you have Shine, like, get him, like shouting over and everything. It always gets me hype. But with the third round with Ace Amin, I give him that because of what he did and although it might have not been entirely aimed at Snake Eyes, like it hit home with me that I tell you, I'll spoil this a little bit. Like Ace Amin pulls out like a version of Rock's chain, like Twork, after what happened at Gnome 9 with Jack Boy and John John. He kind of imitates that with a version of Twork's chain. So when Twork had a big part when he went, what the fuck is this? Like when the crowd go mental, like Jack Boy does the same on Twork's chain that Ace Amin bought.
Okay.
So he's going, what the fuck is that? And that put a lot of pressure. We didn't think Twork was in the building, but I think that's going to shake shit up, like doing that as well. And it was done really well. But the third is very close with me as well because T-Rex did have a little cameo staring right down at Ace Amin, not giving a fuck, and it was fire. Like I won't give up the bars, but he was snapping. He had a little few bars here and there just thrown in there. I would have loved to have seen T-Rex and Snake Eyes as a 2-on-2. I think that would have been a really powerful 2-on-2 if it was to work out, because I know he did the one with Dougie, but that was just a fucking New York versus DMV thing like years ago. That one there, there'd be a lot more chemistry between T-Rex and Snake Eyes. That if they did a 2-on-2, I would really like to see that. But that's how I'd call that.
Okay.
Did you watch it?
I haven't seen any of it, no.
Oh, okay. That's how I called that one. Then it's like a fucking 3-hour wait. Like pretty much, it's a long fucking time that this event's been happening, and fuck all has happened considering it's about 3 or 4 battles at most. Like then like I think it was promoted before, but then Loaded Lux before the next battle, Loaded Lux comes out and does a performance. And the problem with him doing the performance is the audio is not connecting entirely well with the stream. And it's just this loud noise of like Lux rapping. And although Lux is great and he's one of the gods, of course, but it was just so fucking loud. I had to put it on mute and just wait for the performance to be done. And then it gets weird because it's me and the people that I'm with. And then Lux takes his top off and he's rapping topless. And it's like, there's literally nothing that can be said because I've put it on mute. And he's just dancing around on my TV topless. Like on a pay-per-view that originally I paid like 30, 40 quid for. And I'm like, well, okay. So after that, then it's the NWX and Monstars. Now with them, great battle. It was NWX versus Twork feature Suge.
Right.
Like literally, the third round was probably the best round of like the Monstars what they had, and that was all Twork. Like Suge literally stepped back, and then in that third round at least, Twork did a whole what you call it? He did Professor Twork.
Oh right, okay, I see.
So he got the lab coat, and he started doing the thing that he did, like Shine did to DNA, the Professor Shine shit, and it was pretty good. And then like Twork had a few bars about something about doing holographic, like the DS card or something. It was really fire. He had a really good third. But NWX, the chemistry on them is just so unbelievable. Like I'm comfortable now to say that they're one of the best 2-on-2s ever. Like it's taken me a long time to say that. Obviously, you have your Thesauruses and that have and Quest and Marv that have had their history and stuff. But as we're pushing on now more and more to the future, I'm confident to say that NWX is top 2, top 3, like in the world ever. And I'd probably put them above Shuffle for at least the last 2 battles. And although Shuffle are great, like NWX have had the crowd in the palm of their hands like for so long now that it'd be beyond a joke to say that they're not the best 2-on-2 currently.
Yeah,
like
certainly
literally. And then you know what's crazy as well? Like they Suge stumbled. He stumbled in the first round, and it kind of fucked up the momentum, and they kind of jerseyed it. And then NWX just went mental. And in the second round, Twork had a back and forth for someone, And like, although they were doing a lot better in the second, they had a back and forth with someone on like Shine's kind of entourage, and that fucked up the momentum again. Like there was almost a fight in every battle on that Summer Impact Reloaded.
Yeah, and the final battle then ended in a fucking brawl on stage. A Renaissance painting of a
Yeah, before we get there, I should say this as well. Although Twork had a great third, DNA just freestyled. He had the same paper. Like, he took it over, and DNA starts freestyling and making rebuttals off of what Twork and Suge made. And everything that is said is bringing, like, they snapped. Like, it's 3-0 NWX. Like, they definitely are. But yeah, this brawl is fucking hilarious. Hilarious. So we had T-Top and Briz. They had their first round. Pretty good first round. Briz is going, I don't know, Mook. I approach Mook. And then that's all sounding like take the shot, the cold flu. Like, it was all really good. They had a really good first round just to kind of set the tone of the event. And then Mook and Calco, right? And Calco's talking that shit. Calco could have been on his way to performance of the night. He was really, for what I like to hear, he was really cooking. And I just don't know what happened. Like, I think Briz was just getting a bit too playful with Mook, and Mook's trying to tell him to stop. And then one thing led to another, and Mook just fucking swings at Briz. Boom! And then all of a sudden, a big brawl happens, and T-Top, the memes on poor T-Top.
Yeah, he topples.
This whole year, T-Top's been getting roasted with memes. Like, it's pretty disgusting what they're doing. Like, and he, like, falls all the way back. He takes out, like, 6-7 people. Someone puts a fucking pinball noise as a meme on T-Top as he knocks people over. And there's, like, 30 fucking people that are all fighting on the main stage. Calico is fucking throwing haymakers at everyone, not giving a fucking T-Rex. He was out there wigging, getting the boots on him. Some guy in orange was getting the shit kicked out of him. Oh, it was just a bad thing. I think T-Top's top was a little bit ripped or something, like his belly was hanging out or something. I don't know. That. And that's the thing, they fucked it up, because now I don't think Mook will return, or at least he should return for a year. Like, he needs to sit down again. He just fucked up a huge bag he would have got for that, and fucked up the whole event. That was just 3 battles. And this was a rescheduled event, and they did it for free. So the cost that they spent on all of this, and Mook just fucked it all up. Like, he really, not Mook, it's a bit of both. They're both at blame on that. They kind of just fucked it all up. And it puts things into perspective, because, like, word on the street is that, well, Decade event coming, Mook will be on that card, the URL Decade, not the King of the Dot Decade. He'll be on there. I don't think he deserves to be on there anymore. Like, if they want to be strident and strong about their opinions and their league as URL, they need to hold off and just tell him, like, as Smack says, I can't eat that. Like, they would have had to eat something, like, if they put Mook back on the card, like, and it's a shame, but, oh, fuck, it's a hilarious fight. Oh, it's hilarious.
It is an incredible fight. I urge people to definitely
incredible.
check it out.
Like,
it's a tableau.
And you know what, like, I was just about to go to bed. The fight happened, for us, the fight happened at 2:10 in the morning.
Right.
2:10, and I'm, like, thinking, okay, right, I'll just watch the battle in the morning. And then the battle starts. And I'm like, oh, well, I'm fucking here now. And after that, just, bam! And it's like, Bruce, don't play with me. And what's really crazy is that you hear everything that Mook is saying on the mic. So he's like, don't fucking play with me. Bam, bam! And you can almost hear the as Mook is trying to swing fists on the camera, on the mic. Like, it's bad. And they had the classic, ooh, that they had when Math hooked Sirius. As soon as it happens, it was classic. And you know what? And it was the best punch of the night. Being honest, the event. Okay, Snake and Ace was good, but I tell you what, I was mad hype when that fight happened, and that's the petty bit of battle rap. I was mad hype.
Oh god, yeah.
And even in the morning, like I screen recorded it myself, because everyone I was with went to bed, and I was just like, I was kind enough and decided to be on a sofa bed, so I was like unfolding the sofa bed and getting myself sorted, and as soon as that happened, I screen recorded it and I just sent them in the morning. They like, oh, what a fight, what a fight. But no, that was a disaster of an event, and it's a shame. But that's that. I'd say
was that karma for Apex?
Oh, now that is a hot take, and I would love to say that it is, but I would never have said it was URL's fault in the first place.
No,
like that wasn't URL.
No,
that was the battlers and bad business. But I wish it was. But no, I would not. Although Apex, we probably lost about 15 grand. Oh, that could have been 200 grand down the tube.
Mm.
Like, really, considering the price for how much Mook is to battle, how much Calico is, plus Briz and T-Top, that they need, like, something comparable to battle these guys, like, plus the paying for the event, all the lights, the cameras, something's probably broken. You know, like, all this, like, that, they probably lost out on like 100 grand at least, maybe 200 grand. Like that, and that venue held 3,000 people. A sold out event. That's the biggest event they've ever done. Like, yeah. I think Cassidy had 2,000 people. This one was the same. This venue was the same venue as the Strike 2.5,
but that only had giant venue,
people in it. Yeah, the giant stage with only had 150 people in the event. This one had the 3,000 and was full, and they fucked it up. And it was only 3 battles. Like, there was a 0 good battle. Well, no, 1 good battle for all of that. Really? Like, and it's a shame. But URL still the number 1 league. Still the number 1 league to me. And I'm always going to say that. Yeah, like, being like, yeah, that's my bias coming in there. Trying to think of anything else. The platform. Now, with the platform coming up, I still have Briz beating Villain. Sorry, Villain. Although you got me excited, you might win a round after our back and forth. I still got Briz. He's telling me that he's going to body him. Like, bruh. And then Eyez and Saga. I think there'll be some good things happening with this event. I think there is connections with URL on this event here, which will be good to see if that happens. But Eyez versus Saga is also announced. Yeah, like, and that's the thing. Saga has been on fire the whole fucking year.
Yeah,
the whole year he's been cooking.
He's been
like
a real run. Yeah.
It's been disgusting what he's been doing, like Ryder and all them, and yeah, killed Ryder. And that's like he had he beat Chef Trez as well. To me, he beat Chef Trez.
That LeBron line.
I got the app. You know, I love the app. Yeah, he just beat him as well. But no, I think that's yeah, I think that'll be a good one. I hope Eyez doesn't play, especially what he did to Uno Lavos. He doesn't play, but I need to see what he does there. Yeah, but tell you what, because you've heard a lot from me. How do you think the event went? Like, all in all,
the Apex event.
Yeah, we'll go with the Apex event. Yeah, because I mean,
well, yeah, that was the only one that I've seen. Yeah, yeah, I think all the battles for their worth are entertaining. There's nothing boring here. Like, sometimes some of the match days of recent yore from Premier Battles have been a bit like that. Like, some of the battles are just a bit, I don't know, unremarkable. And some of the actions of some of the people pissed off. Like, Raptor got really pissed off with Chilla as well and sort of interrupts the battle for a bit. I can't quite remember what battle that was. That might have been Bobby Unan as well.
No, that was Bobby. Bobby did that.
Oh, was that Bobby doing that? Yeah.
It was between Bobby and Chilla. And I think, I think Bobby was joking, but Chilla just, like, Bobby's humor. You know what I mean? And Chilla
the translate. Yeah, he's
Chilla's
always
just like, you're threatening me or something.
He's always
like,
teetering on a psych I lied, Bobby. Like, he's always kind of in that kind of way. But
I can agree with that. Yeah, like for at least that situation for sure, I could say that.
I really enjoyed the card. I mean, I really wanted to enjoy the card because obviously it's been so fucking awful. It's gone down to Shotty and Briggs, and I just want to shout out all the people involved with the event as well. All the guys and all the battlers, and everyone, and Yanif, and all the staff. And
I'm still pissed off the queue thing. Well, but never mind. I was put back in the back of the fucking queue.
Little thing, but yeah, guys, if you enjoyed hearing about these battles and want to see them before they drop on the YouTube, pay-per-view is down below. As always, at battlerapresume.com. If you want to get in touch with me, Patreon is there as well. Episodes like this go on the feed there first. YouTube, Spotify, leave us an iTunes review. Cameron, I guess finally, is there anything you'd like to promote yourself?
I'm just a fan. Like, maybe one day I'll do some like blogging and that. I feel like I probably should at some point with like internet rules and stuff that's coming up. I probably should just get my voice out there a little more. But I ain't really got nothing. I'll shout out Black Ops Media because that's gang. That's the group. I'm on there whenever I can. But no, nothing really, my man. Just maybe I'm on if I got a pay-per-view or something, and then maybe I can hop back on here or something and talk that shit.
Definitely, man.
And if anyone ever wanted to call up, I don't know. I'm willing to. If we have any hot
that's the
takes
thing.
or anything.
Black Compass, though, which obviously you call it regularly too, and I listen to all the time, as I've said, have like regularly 400-500 people listening at any one time with the Discord and the YouTube. They have giant audiences, rightly so, which I never really achieve these things. But yeah, I mean, if people do want to call up, we could definitely do something like that in the future.
Yeah, like just some like a call up system or something. Like especially if I'm listening up and let's say I don't know Madflex is on the phone and if maybe he says something wrong, I'd call up and call him out on it. Fucking right. I mean, so it's all respect, but some people would have to get called out on their shit, and I'm sure I'd probably get called out on my shit too. Like, and I'm cool with that. Yeah. I don't know, some sort of thing. But no, like, salute to you, my man. I do appreciate having a chance to come up and.
No, this was great, man. I knew.
Speak and all that. Hey, like, especially, I was probably a little bit aggressive when we met at Summer Madness. a little bit.
You're all good, man.
And you know what? Good. I should actually say that phone call with me and you on that when that thing was going on.
Oh yeah.
I had just finished a bottle of Hennessy, like on the train down to London from where I'm from. Like I just went through like a liters of Hennessy and Coke, and then I was kind of half passed out in the hotel room like that night, and then I kind of woke up at 11 o'clock, and I just seen it was on, and I thought I'd just kind of listen up. And as soon as I could contact, I definitely did come up, but like I was fucked. I was fucked that time. But I'm always tend to be drunk on the shows. But now I just want to say though, my man, like I know I'm a bit of a rambler, and I just start talking bullshit. But I really do appreciate having the chance to come up, talking spice, little inside details and stuff that we can. I might be at All Star. Unless URL's got an event. Apparently they might have an event in November. I might have to prioritize that. But if so be, I'll be up there. And I think you should get up there again, my man. You need to get up there. And
no, I'll definitely try and be there for All Star. Absolutely. Yeah. It was a shame that just Apex happened to come on a day that had been booked off for ages for something else. But yeah, guys, as always, pay-per-views down below. Cam, thanks so much. People go onto the. It's kind of going to be hard to find, but when I was on Black Compass for an hour or so with Tony, we took calls. Cam was there, so we had a really good discussion. And yeah, you're like a king over there, man. Like there's a real caliber of debate that I'm not really used to. Like this simpering Brit, like But the chat over there is really inspirational, and some of the long.
It's a lot of cussing. I actually cuss a lot of people out. I'm like bollocks, bullshit, lies. Waffle, there's a lot of cussing on there. I've tried to keep that very civil here. Like, who of them? Like, I'm sure I've probably demonetized this video now, but like, anytime they try to get money off a video and then they do like a manual review, because I know YouTube's on some bullshit, and they'd be like, oh no, he said all this. I've probably ruined so much money for them. Like,
it's peanuts anyway. It's it's like battle rap money.
Yeah, I know. It's a shame that like you guys deserve more for what you do. You definitely deserve more.
No, thank you, bro, and cheers to everyone on the live stream for tuning in as well. Go back and check out all the old episodes of Battle Rap Resume. We've done like a best of volume recently. That should be on there, like 2 hours or so of clips. But Cam, thanks for your time, man. It's been great.
Yeah, hopefully I make a feature on the best of next time.